Hi, I'm Mark Klingenberger with Wilbert Funeral Services. I'd like to take this opportunity to share with you some learning we have from our research and show you a few things that might help you better communicate with your families. We've done outside research to understand what families think about burial vaults. We found that in the US and Canada, only 42% of families expect to buy the product. Now, we appreciate that the family is meeting with you on one of the worst days of their life. They're usually emotionally and mentally exhausted. And when they approach the burial vault sale, it's after the statistical and biographical information's been completed, the obituary's been proofed, services have been selected, as well as the casket. Can you imagine how they feel when they're shown a product they didn't expect to purchase? Now, fortunately, in this challenging communications task, it can be overcome with a simple approach. In speaking with funeral professionals, there's a consensus that there are 4 core objections that need to be addressed for every family. Why do I have to have one? Who's going to see it? Who will know if it fails? And shouldn't I buy the cheapest? If you address the objections before they arise, you're seen as an educator. If you wait for the objections and then have the answer, you run the risk of being seen as more of a salesperson. Let's step to the vault display that may be pretty representative of what you have and review how we might educate a family. Wilbert was the first to develop graphics for use in the displays with families to help them understand the purchasing of the outer burial container. Utilizing them as well as our display to address the core objections might sound something like this. I'm sure you've seen cemeteries with graves that look like this. To keep this from happening, the cemetery requires a container for the casket. Now, as you see here, a tent and chairs may be set up for your family the day of the service. We understand this varies as norms and locations as well as the weather on a given day. There's also Wilbert Way and non-Wilbert Way graphics. The important thing is to help the family visualize what a graveside service could look like. Now, the burial vault will be seen again by your family and others on our staff, but the graves above and below and on each side are open and closed through the years. And what you see here on the display are burial vaults, and they're designed and warranted to maintain the integrity of the casket. So to take a moment and recap those 4 objections and the 6 sentences that address those, why do I have to have it? I'm sure you've seen cemeteries that look like this. To keep this from happening, the cemetery requires a container for the casket. Who will see it? As you see here, there may be a tent and chairs set up for your family the day of the service. Who will know if it fails? The burial vault will be seen again by our staff and others as the graves on either side and above and below are opened and closed through the years. Shouldn't I buy the cheapest? What you see here on the display are burial vaults as pictured here. These are designed and warranted to maintain the integrity of the casket. The 4 most common objections and those 6 simple sentences help the family understand burial vaults and make an informed decision. As one very successful funeral professional once said, the casket is the bed in which you'll lie for eternity, and the burial vault is the house that protects your bed. There are many things that can be added to the presentation, but too often we're focusing on what we may know about design and construction, or quite frankly, confusing families with too much information. Our studies have shown that focusing on what the family does want to understand leads to an informed decision and enhances overall satisfaction, which is everybody's goal. The latest development by Wilbert to communicate with families is display animation. Display animation takes the 4 core objections and addresses them through a series of easily understood images that rotate throughout the screen. Shown here is how a unit can be hung very simply into any vault display. Wilbert has also developed a graphic to go around the unit that helps attract the family's attention and provide additional educational support to your presentation. Twice during the images, as they're being shown, the family is invited to get more information by playing a brief video. While we are continuing to adjust our content based upon family reactions, our experience has shown a few things. These units are doing a great job of tactfully attracting the attention of families and making it easier for the funeral professional to engage them in the presentation of information. The use of motion catches the eye of the family and provides an invitation to engagement. Our research shows that most people are either interested or neutral on the idea of reviewing an informative video. This now gives them that opportunity. If one family member chooses to activate the video, we found others will watch. And when the funeral professional introduces it as a brief, informative video, the family pays very close attention. And most important possibly, is these units are changing the selections families are making through education. Now, if you'd like more information on ways to effectively communicate with your families, please contact your local Wilbert licensee or give us a call. We want to thank you very much for your time and attention during this video. We hope you've learned something that'll help you serve families in your community and support the important work you do for them.